Hello, welcome back. Today, oh fucking stop squeaking! Today the workshop is very congested, cluttered, and we have some migration of woodworking, output transformer winding into the living room. We have the amplifier chassis thing there, and then spinning round the workshop is full of bits of, well, useful bits, capacitors, fucking shit everywhere, pardon my French again. So yeah, I keep trying to keep on top of it, but it just, yeah, I don't know. You just look for one screw or one bolt or something and then this happens. Let's have a look at the amplifier chassis. I've put the veneer on. Oh, Jesus Christ. This workshop isn't big enough for this filming. I've put the veneer on the ends of the chassis, wooden chassis. That looks a lot better, doesn't it? Had a bit of a problem in it sort of sticking to, you know, everywhere, so it's taken a few goes to clamp it all up, and then obviously there's a bit of dust filling and whatnot, and the where do you call it, the veneer broke in a few places, so I had to sort of stick it back on. Got another gap there, another gap there, but I'm not, yeah, I'm quite pleased with that because that's the first time I've used veneer and it don't look too bad at all. Ooh, told you about the frigging wasp, didn't I? Where is it? Feckers are back. I've never seen so many bleeding wasps this year. Anyway, let's get back to the amplifier. I'm still trying to figure out which bits go where. Spent ages earlier on dewiring all the old octal sockets, and then I thought, sod it, I'll use new ones, and then couldn't find the new ones. They'd slipped behind something or other, so that took me an hour to try and find. And so now now I've got those in, just, you know, temporarily as it were, because I've still got to paint the front plate, this plate thing. Then I'm just trying to figure out which is the sort of neatest way to do it. My current thinking is to run a ground bus bar sort of straight down the middle, not this. And then that obviously can connect really nicely to like grid resistors, cathode resistors and things of that nature. So if we run that straight down the middle, sort of coming off a standoff here or something like that, that'll work a treat, because then we've got a couple of big sort of cathode resistors coming off these two output valves that can join there, so that would work out quite well, I think. So I'm going to try and go with that, and then I'm sort of umming and ahhing about using some of these ceramic X-Tektronic ceramic wafers to try and, you know, keep things neat. The ideal solution and what Torben used was this. He used some of these, you know, like terminal strips bolted onto either side, but obviously like he had his sort of valve holders like that, and then he had like that, sorry, and just have to use your imagination, something like that, and then connect it, you know, everything sort of together. That's a really nice, neat way of doing it, but I haven't got enough of these things. I suppose I could buy some, but you know what I'm like. I try to use some of the bits that I've already got, so that's really what's taking the time. If you was to build this amp and you just sort of bought new everything, it'd be a lot easier. But because, you know, I'm trying to recycle bits that, like this sort of thing, I've collected various bits over the years, big switches, sort of big sort of bolts with shiny heads. Well, and these things, look at these. I mean, these are great. They're like some sort of, look at the springs on those. You've got springs like on the top and springs underneath, and so it's like some sort of military grade floating suspension thing, probably out of an aircraft or something like that. But I thought, oh, they'd make lovely sort of feet because they can take some weight. So yeah, I doubt I'll ever find a use to them now. Brackets, all sorts of things. I mean, if I was building a motorbike, they might be useful. I mean, but what the hell can I use that for? Yeah, so lots of shit like that. And so you end up spending ages looking for the right bit and trying to make it fit, if you're with me. Yeah, crazy. And that's what takes all the time. Okay, we have progress on several fronts. I've started to get the layout established. So the heater wiring will go this side. These are our two pots. These are optimally placed. So where are we? 7 and 8 heaters. So we've got one there, this one here going to the grid there, and the other pot here going to the grid there. I made that bracket this morning, and obviously because the heater wiring goes there, I want to sort of keep any high voltage DC and all the rest of it away from it. So I made this little bracket earlier on. That is a decoupling capacitor. Not quite sure about the sighting of this quite yet, but in a nutshell, that will be secured like that. And then we've got a couple of resistors just coming off the positive terminal of the capacitor. That should decouple for the cathode followers and the phase splitter stage. On another front, the wooden chassis thing is coming together. That's the, where do you call it? What the fucking here? Veneer. I think it's supposed to be oak veneer. That's the back. Other side, and that's the front view. It's taken a little bit of time to get it all stuck down because the veneer peeled off like in a few places, and that bit there is where I'd had a clamp and it had sort of dug into the wood, and so what I did, I tried the old trick of using some water on a sponge, just sort of sat on there for a while, and you know, for the indentation to pop out, and that's worked out okay. So yeah, I'm quite reasonably happy with that. So next we're going to put on some sander sealer. Just use this cellulose stuff, chestnut. Just seals the wood. Need quite a lot of it. Probably a brush would be better. And then what I shall do, I shall put, where do you call it, Danish oil on. Hopefully this will bring out the except it's dissolving this cloth here. Right, don't use synthetic cloths. Oh god, this shit makes you high. Right, I shall keep doing that. I think I ought to take that outside, to be honest. To make the capacitor clamps, I've been using this big old pipe that I don't know, I can't remember where this pipe came from. Must have pulled it out of a skip ages ago. It's very old because just this has got some real weight to it. It's a lot thicker walled than your normal sort of copper pipe. Yeah, fetch a few bob at the scrap heap because I weigh all my old winding, you know, old copper failed windings and copper that's pulled off transformers. But the problem I have cutting it with a hacksaw is trying to cut it parallel to this face here. So yeah, it's a bit on the piss, but I shall just have to, it just means a hell of a lot more filing and what have you. So I'm going to mark that out and then cut it out, and then it's just a hell of a lot of fettling basically. Fuck. Right, I can see I'm going off piste already, and that doesn't look too bad. So I've got 4 of these to make. I'm not entirely happy with the finish. It's been knocking about outside and probably in the skip for a long time. I would think this is probably what, 1950s, 60s copper pipe. So as you can see, the finish is a bit knackered, and yeah, I'm not too absolutely chuffed with that, but at least it's functional. But I do try to make, you know, the sort of accoutrements, the fixtures and fittings look as, you know, good as possible. But it is what it is. It took a hell of a lot of cleaning up because, as you can see, it's reet mucky. So it just means a lot of elbow grease. So I shall crack on with that. Try and get it reasonably flat and the saw marks out. And deburr. Actually, probably deburr it quicker with the old Stanley knife trick. Really hard to grip things. Right, so now we've got to just saw it in two, as it were. Right, I've already got a bit of cardboard that I measured the capacitor with to get a length, so we need to chop a little bit out. Yeah, mark it out roughly. Yeah, it's a lot of work. Would be easier to probably buy some proper jobs, but it is what it is. Use the pliers first. Gently poke it out a bit, but as you can see, that's an unequal, where do you call it? It's roughly there. Right, I'll just keep wailing on it and fettling it until it's right. Just need to get my lengths equal. Get in there. Right, so that needs bending around more than, doesn't it? Right. Slowly, slowly. So we need to be a bit short of that, which is about 3/8 if I've measured it right. I know they're not fettled yet, but I'll just mark them. Give me something to go from. Straighter. That needs straightening. It's roughly parallel. Then we have to bend that over. Just use old chisels and whatnot to shape. I found with metal bashing, slowly and gently, rather than going for the whole thing. Let's try a bigger. Okay, we've got a step there. Obviously that holds that like that. So we've got some more fettling to do and all the rest of it. We'll get there. Right, we've got an unevenness going off, but I can do that by bending it round the file again. Right, so we need to wrap that round a bit more there. Release coppers reasonably. So now we've got the ohm sign, which is rather nifty, and then I shall just keep filing it and whatnot until we get there. Now I've got it roughly where I want it. Can start to clean up those coarse file marks. Sorry it's squeak. Right, that's got those out. Same on the other side. Well, after all that fettling of the capacitor brackets, I realised I couldn't put them over there because of this, and so I've just spent about the last 2 hours sort of shaping and cutting out to go around this bracket there, which is unfortunate. Therefore the only logical place is to put the capacitors there. So that's a bit of a tit fuck, but nothing much I can do about that. The other side will be okay, it'll work on the other side, but yeah. See, this is where like CAD drawings and all that sort of thing comes into the picture, and obviously makes fuck ups like this less of a probability. But never mind, that will still work. Bit more progress. Got the brackets, well, two of the brackets made for one of the output transformers. They bolt on the back like that. Doesn't look too hideous, I don't think so, and I don't mind them hanging over the back so much. One coat of sander sealer and one coat of Danish oil. Yet to, you know, polish it off and all that, and it'll need quite a few more coats yet. Toroid transformer in. Not necessarily in that what's it, we'll have to see. And that will fit in there like that. So next I can start trying to figure out the power supply. The power supply, yeah. That won't be too hard, hopefully. Got all the heater wiring coming out the bottom. I'm going to terminate that into this block here. Those big bolts there are only just there for me to hold it in place, so I can show you what the crack is, what the idea is. So yeah, they will terminate there, then obviously go to the valves. This is our HT winding and our bias winding. They will terminate on there, something like that, onto there, and then I can wires from there into a couple of fuse holders. Not quite sure where I'm going to put them yet. For the HT, they will go to this little McGubbins here. Just got 4 standoffs. They will have some diodes like this, bridge rectifier. They will set something like that. Got the choke maybe somewhere like that, and so that's most of the that's the HT supply sorted out, and then I just need to make up a board for the bias power supply, and that's pretty much all the DC power supplies sorted out. And yeah, so we're slowly getting there, slowly catch you monkey. Well, I think we'll cut it there. I have made more progress, as you can see, but that will have to wait for the next thrilling episode. Thank you very much for watching. Take care of yourselves. Ta-ra for now.